So NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal has sat down with Iman Shumpert, where he asked a very serious question when it comes to this GOAT debate on where does Stephen Curry fall and if he's top 10. And throughout the years, I've always alluded to this analogy of this dinner party with all-time legends. And there's going to be many tables according to positions, and there's going to be subsections of these tables. In the point guard position, you could say guys like Magic Johnson, Jerry West, Isaiah Thomas from the Detroit Pistons, Oscar Robertson, and Stephen Curry sits at that table. In a subsection of that is going to be guys like John Stockton. You can make an argument Gary Payton, Allen Iverson, and even to a degree Steve Nash. All those players are well accomplished, but just willing a team as the lead guy is something that they never really got over the hurdle. But it's an all-time table in itself. And the rest of the dinner party will be the same way. For the shooting guards, it's going to be Jordan, Kobe, D. Wade. For the all-time small forwards, it's going to be LeBron, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Kevin Durant, and so forth and so forth. But going back to Stephen Curry in this quote-unquote GOAT debate, there's going to have to be a lot of excuses made to leave him out of that top 10, or at least even that top 15. But Shaq and Iman Shumpert spoke on it. You guys check it out, and every once in a while, I'll check in.
I got a question. Should we start including Steph Curry in the greatest of all time?
As a point guard?
No. With Bron, Mike, Jordan, can we put him in there?
Technically, yes. Personally, no.
Okay. Well, I'm just asking.
Now, all those players Shaq just named, they changed the game, but Stephen Curry's definitely changed the game. He's impacted the game on the same level as those guys. Matter of fact, you can actually make an argument. He's actually impacted the NBA game itself more than LeBron James has. Look at the play style of today's teams. Everyone is imitating Stephen Curry. He's actually changed what's considered a good shot versus a bad shot.
I was talking.
You don't have to elaborate on it because I ain't trying to start no trouble. But
no, he should because he guarded him.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
that's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
I speak off experience from having to usually guard the best player. There's certain players that you guard that
you can't do nothing with. Got it. Okay.
And keep in mind, Shumpert was there that night when Stephen Curry kind of broke out of his shell in Madison Square Garden, dropping that 50 piece on the Knicks. So after that, Stephen Curry ended up becoming Chef Curry. And that's where we started to see more of the three-point style and the fast twitch crossovers with the crazy shots from half court. It's like Steph actually found his groove in the league, and that was his breakout game to show that off.
End of the game feeling.
Okay, got it.
Like I hated guarding Paul Pierce at the end of the game. Even though I got stops on him, the first round, we ended up beating them to go to the second round my second year. And I was so hyped about it because I'm like, bro, I've watched him at the end of the games. I've guarded him at the end of the game. It ain't what I'm doing. I'm not helping the situation. He just dangerous. My hand's there. I smacked him on the hand. Turn around, bucket. Like when you got to deal with somebody like that at the end of the game, it's like, man, Steph, because he's, I don't know, he uses a lot of stuff like
to get open.
Like you going around screens. Like if you could switch and do enough and not let him get the ball, you might make it out okay.
Okay, got it. All right.
But there's them players that say,
and I never thought about it like that.
Put it right here.
Yeah, got it.
Like guard somebody like you, like it's a whole, like y'all running around. It's like, nope, move.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
That's scary to me.
And I asked that question because, like, with so much going on, what's the criteria now?
Woo, that's a hell of a question. Boy, that criteria keeps expanding, and it's going to be very hard. I mean, you really can't compare eras because they keep tweaking these rules. But the criteria, especially with modern medicine, these guys are lasting a lot longer in the league, playing into their primes almost at the age of 40. The criteria is going to have to be winning, at least. That's going to have to be the number one criteria. Not how many points scored, the impact on winning, and how did that player impact the league by staying on top so long. It's almost like it has to be a Mount Rushmore of winning, not necessarily the numbers and stats that we see kind of drive a lot of these debates today. If you want to put in your stake to make the claim that you're the GOAT, you're going to have to sit at the mountain of winning, which that right there will be pretty much undeniable. And it's going to be very hard to make argument against that.
That's all, because I get upset. I get upset.
Is it the statistics or is
like for example, they go Mike and LeBron, which it should be, but you gonna forget about my boy Kobe?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, but I see Mike and LeBron. I don't see no Kobe. Like, so.
Well, that's the numbers game. LeBron is all numbers game.
Yeah, but
he's the leader.
But hold on.
To be honest with you, Shaq has a valid argument to be in that top 10. Nobody dominated the league the way he did. He went to the NBA Finals with 3 different teams. I mean, we're also talking about a guy who's won 3 straight NBA Finals and 3 straight Finals MVP. Only Michael Jordan has done that. And MJ did that shit twice.
Brown got 4, Cole got 5. Like, he should be mentioned. I'm not.
I doubt Brown can still get one.
And Steph got 4. He can be mentioned.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's the same. The only difference why Bron and Kobe will always be mentioned with Mike and Steph is going to be in a totally different category.
No, but they don't even mention Kobe in a lot of these conversations.
And that is facts. They really don't. And unfortunately for the Kobe Bryant fans, there is not one stat that you can put next to Kobe Bryant's career versus MJ's to be like Kobe was better or even on that level. Other than points scored, but you look at the efficiency and just the amount of winning, it's really not there. It's hard to quantify that if you just look at Kobe's career versus Jordan to be like, okay, Kobe did this better or Kobe should be in that top 10 range. Like I said, Shaq is sitting right here. He has a valid argument to say he's top 10.
The world.
Shame on them.
They go, who's the GOAT?
But it is what it is. As the league continues to evolve, as far as the analytics, the modern medicine, the way they officiate some of these games, the pace of play, one era could have many years of good draft classes of great centers versus another era it was just point guards, or another era it could be small forwards. That also factors in. But as time goes on, this GOAT debate is really going to have to be nuanced to who dominated their era. Because at the end of the day, the NBA it's a television product. The league is constantly changing the rules and tweaking it to make it more palatable for a new generation that's watching it on TV. So 1980, we seen the NBA actually implement the 3-point line. Today, they actually allowed players to have more freedom of movement with the gather step, the way that the league doesn't necessarily call carry no more. Guys actually allowed to dribble, kind of cuffing the ball a little bit more. But the rules before 1980 used to be so restrictive that if guys were running down the court and they fumbled the ball while they were catching it, that could be considered a travel. Most spin moves were considered a travel. So we always have to look at it and put proper context into things, because the offensive players of today, they actually have way more freedom and way more options to put on moves in order to score. But the players before the modern era, they played in a time where the rules were much more restrictive. And some of them did not even play with the 3-point line. Or by the time they were in their 8th season, teams were just getting accustomed to running plays with the 3-point line even existing. So there's a lot of nuance into these GOAT conversations. And we also have to consider the fact that players were not allowed to take some of these shots that they're taking today. That's how Stephen Curry kind of changed the game. Teams were not jacking up long threes 4 times in a row after missing it. That level of freedom just didn't exist during those times. But it is what it is. This GOAT conversation is probably going to have to be simmered down to just who dominated the era. But that's all I have for today. You fellas definitely hit up the links in the description below. Got the mailbag for any questions you have, and also plenty of game film from some of the games that are going on, because there's a lot of on-court dynamics that are at play. So until next time, you fellas stay safe. Peace.